Hello. Today's little trip is about a half a day's adventure. It's um, goes up Highway 130. We'll start the video in Centennial, and we'll run on up Highway 130. There's some real nice scenery here on the road. Of course, any car can drive up this paved highway. It's only open in the warmer months of the year, closes in the winter, crosses Libby Flats at nearly 11,000 feet. So here we are on Libby Flats, and zoom out a little bit. You can see the entire Snowy Range is right in this area. We'll stop briefly here at the turnout and get some nice photographs, hopefully, and then we wander on down, still on the highway, and just past Silver Lake. The highway turns around the mountain here, and I guess it's about the second turnoff to the right, heading almost due north. We'll turn on Forest Service Road 103, and we'll go up 103 for a little ways, wander down 103.3H, and find out where it goes. Not very far, actually. Turn around from there and take a look and see what this left turn on 200 does for us. And that takes us down to the west, still in the timber, below timberline, and through an old mining district. You can see the claim plats here, and then as we move along South Brush Creek, we'll find there's a real sharp oblique turn that goes uphill, fairly steeply uphill, past a nice little stream here, and eventually takes us to Phantom Lake. And we'll stop there for a little while, let the dog swim, and then back down the hill, and we'll take the alternate route out of Phantom Lake, which follows Road 200 still, and eventually somewhere here we hook up with, I believe it's Road 234, which is a fairly well-maintained road. Some of the numbers on this don't agree. The vector lines and the raster lines, it says it's still 200. And eventually 234, I think the stream crossing where the ridge is washed out, somewhere in here, or yeah, it must be Brush Creek right here is where the bridge is washed out. But if you have four-wheel drive, you can get across it okay. Just drive right through the stream, and eventually we end up back on the highway. And the next video after this one is going to take us up the highway here, and we'll start the video again on Road 103 and go all the way north to Elk Mountain. So, hope you enjoy the trip. This should be about, 45 minutes long. We'll see by the time we're done. And I think that's about all for the map overview. Okay, we'll start our trip at Centennial, and to make this video a halfway decent length, the speed has actually been accelerated 5 times. So, just so you know, I don't drive this fast. But anyway, coming outside of Centennial, we have to climb steadily uphill. Libby Flats is almost 11,000 feet, and that's about the top of the highway. This first creek we cross is Libby Creek. And then past Corner Mountain and on up towards Libby Flats. I think that was the old science camp that the university sold, and now it's owned by somebody else. Snowy Range is a pretty good sized area. It starts at about, well over 7,000 feet in the Laramie Basin and rises to Medicine Bow Peak, which is a little bit over 12,000 feet. Now we can see Medicine Bow Peak in the distance. And Old Main, that whole escarpment there is made out of quartzite, several billion years old, couple billion I think. One time it was, believe it or not, a beach. You can also find in these ancient rocks some of the oldest fossils known. Stromatolites, fossilized algal beds, one of the earlier life forms. Well, let's turn around and go back up here on the lookout and get some nice panoramic pictures. This is really a beautiful spot right here. Well worth the time to stop for a minute. There's the Diamond, and then Old Main, and that big hump is Medicine Bow Peak, Sugarloaf, and then Browns Peak in the distance. With the gap between, and there's some nice lakes there, Gap Lake. All of that's a primitive area, some really nice hiking trails back in there. A lot of people enjoy this area in the summertime. It's nice and cool. Snowfields that last all summer. They're getting smaller every year. This is Old Main. Just to the left, there was a large airplane crash in 1950s, 55 I think. At the time it was the largest loss of life in an aviation accident. The plane crashed right into that solid quartzite wall. There were no survivors. That's Medicine Bow Peak. There's a nice trail that goes up to the top there. It's hard to appreciate the scale in a photograph or a video. But it's big. It's really awesome to just stand there and look at it. Okay, back on the highway. We'll run down the road a few more miles and get back on some dirt roads, get away from the crowds a bit. Right here is a turnoff to Lake Marie. That's a really nice spot to stop. There's a beautiful lake there, very photogenic. Now to the left somewhere, we may not be able to see it because the angle of the camera, is Silver Lake. It's down below the road. And right in here is where I believe the highway turns around the Quartzsite Ridge. And not far from that is our turnoff. I think this is the one that goes over to Sucker Lake. And I don't have any pictures of that road. Not yet. Maybe next year. Okay, this is Forest Service Road 103. And if you follow it all the way, it'll take you eventually to Turpin Reservoir, and then you can drive on out to Elk Mountain. But for this first part of the day, we're going to explore some trails to the west of this road. Now for the first few miles, it's a pretty good road, and people actually bring pretty large fifth wheel campers and things like that back in here. But you don't have to go too much farther, and you really should have four-wheel drive. At least a vehicle with reasonably good clearance. Standard SUVs would probably make these roads. Again, the main issue is clearance. There's really not that many very steep grades, although the hill up into Phantom Lake is fairly steep. Low range is probably better there. So to the left is Road 200. We're going to go down that later. I really didn't have a plan when I came up here. Just to explore some roads in this area was about as detailed as my plan was. Someday I'd like to drive down all of them. Okay, this road is 103.3 H as in Harry. Not a bad little road, it just doesn't really go to anywhere in particular. According to the map, this road may actually go just a little bit farther, but not much. Hardly worth getting the chainsaw out. Now this road I don't think is on the map, and I don't know where it goes. And with the new restrictions, it's probably not a legal trail anyway, so we'll turn around and go back. You might notice I stop a lot. A couple reasons for that. Usually it's to take a photograph. Sometimes it's to check my GPS or maps. Sometimes it's just to get a snack. Now we're on Forest Service Road 200. Pretty good shape so far. There are a few other turnoffs on this road besides Phantom Lake. One of them runs up to Arista Lake, and several lakes in there. I haven't been down that road. I'd like to go there sometime as well. Well, as it's pretty obvious from the video, the road's starting to get a little bumpy. There's not many real big rocks here, but there's a lot of little ones, and it's a shaky ride. Want to make sure you have your dentures glued in well. Well, now we're starting to get into an area where a vehicle with some decent ground clearance does make a difference. Although careful tire placement, I think most four-wheel drive outfits would have a bit of trouble on this road. Here's a rocky spot where you might want to think about how you're going to drive over it. It's always a good idea to bring a saw, particularly now with all the beetle kill we have in these woods. The trees will fall across the road. You might have to cut your way in, but even more important, on a windy day, a tree can fall across the road, and without a saw, you could find yourself spending more time on your little trip than you planned, trying to get a tree out of the way. I usually carry a chainsaw, and my vehicle has a winch, so I just cut them once and winch them out of the way. Okay, I think this is where we turn up towards Phantom Lake. So I would guess this is road 200.2A. This is a pretty good little climb. And it's narrow and bumpy. But as you can see, there's not a lot of traffic here. So here we are at Phantom Lake. I ran out of storage on the video camera just before we got here. It's really a nice place, and of course the dogs get a chance to cool off, go for a swim. I didn't take the time to do any fishing, but I imagine you could catch a fish or two here. You can't actually see the lake easily from where the road ends, but it's a short walk, maybe 25 yards. Well, now we're driving along South Brush Creek. Nice little drainage here, and the road appears to be getting a little better, not quite as bumpy, and it will continue to improve as we work our way back towards the highway. I would imagine at the right time of day, this meadow down here would be a nice place to see some wildlife. And that's me getting some more pictures. I kind of like the panorama function on my camera. It's really useful in the mountains. Well, we can see the road is getting a little wider. Here's what's left of a little cabin or structure of some sort. I often wonder about the stories behind all of these things you find. Now here we have a bridge that was washed out a few years ago during a flash flood. Probably the same flood that took the lives of a family that happened to try to cross a flooded out area. I don't know that it was right here though. And I think now we're probably on Road 234. So we're just about done with this little trip. But don't worry, there's plenty more roads to explore. And here's the highway. That's it.